200 years ago there was a chess player so strong that he quit chess forever because nobody in the world could compete with him. His name was Paul Morphy, and the game that is in front of us was played during an opera. The Duke Karl and Count Isouard were not convinced that Paul Morphy could defeat both of them playing with the black pieces at the same time. And so, while the show was going on in the background, they were playing chess on the side. And in this position, the two challengers decided to attack this bishop. Now the bishop could simply go back, but instead Paul Morphy decided to start an attack and sacrificed his first piece with knight takes b5, a brilliant move. The pawn of course wants to take this free knight, but after it does that, the bishop now comes to a very powerful diagonal. This is attacking the king, and there is only one realistic way to defend, by moving the knight. If you move the king, well, I'm going to castle with check, the king is getting harassed. And if you move this knight, I am going to take your queen, thank you very much. But the duke and the count were fine chess players, so they of course see the best move, and they defend the check like this. Now Paul Morphy, cool, calm and collected, decides to castle, but he is bringing more pieces into the attack, with this rook now being active and pressuring that knight, which is exactly why the opponents decided to defend the knight like this. But they were underestimating a man that was going to make the history of chess, and in this position he takes the knight with the rook. If you take with the rook, now the rook is going to be pinned to the king, and so it's going to be lost on the next move. But don't forget that Paul Morphy has already sacrificed a full knight on b5, so he is currently down a piece. So he is not hasty, and in this position he brings a rook to d1, now adding more pressure to this piece. And here the duke and the count realize that they are under some pressure and they start discussing what to do. If they do a developing move, like for example this, to bring out the bishop, now after the bishop takes with check, they are not going to be able to take with the knight again because they lose the queen. But they think that they found the perfect way to unravel here, and they play queen to e6. Now getting away from this pin, the knight is now able to defend the rook. Paul Morphy doesn't flinch, and he simply takes the rook. This doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. After the knight takes, after all, they are still going to be up a full knight. How is Paul Morphy possibly going to win this? Well, I'll show you how, with the brilliant queen b8. He picks up his queen and very gently puts it on that square that is defended by the knight. The only move available for black is to take the queen, but after it does that, with only one bishop and one rook left, Paul Morphy brings the rook all the way up and delivers this majestic checkmate. And to this day, this pattern is called the opera checkmate.